What are you going to do, brother, when the Centennial Midget Series runs wild on you?
This is the Throwin podcast with Blair and Brandon.
Woo! Felt good.
The
Every once in a
Hulkster.
while, you gotta channel your Hulkamania inside of you. Anyways, we are back again for another episode of the Throwin podcast, episode 62 tonight. Where is everyone at? Obviously, this is the first time Blair and I have not done a live episode, but we're going to pretend all of our friends are in the comments, and we might just make some shit up as we go. But yeah, Throwin podcast is part of Scrub and Tires Media, the number one racing podcast in Colorado and the surrounding region. Thank you to our every weekers for making that possible. I'm your host, Brandon Hall, and to my right is Blair Cooper, the driver of the number 32 ASCS Sprint car. Yeah, we got some cool topics for you tonight to dive into with a special guest announcement at the end of this one. So make sure you listen to it through and through. But yeah, this episode tonight is brought to you by Hoosier of the Rockies. So we tag them all the time, and there's a reason for that. So their inaugural CMS opener is this weekend at airport, and we'll dive into that. But without further ado, give them their 1 minute and 34 seconds to fame here. If you're serious about performance, whether that's on the track or off-road, you already know having the right components and having them readily available is crucial. And that's exactly where Hoosier of the Rockies comes in. They are the official Hoosier tire dealer of Colorado, which makes it incredibly convenient for local racers to get the tires and supplies they need without the hassle of waiting or traveling out of state. What really sets them apart, though, is that they're not just your typical brick and mortar shop. They're right there in the action, trackside supporting racers when it counts most. Whether you need fresh tires between sessions or race weekends, fuel to keep you running, or critical components like radius rods, rod ends, wheels, and more, they've got you covered right then and there. Don't have what you're looking for? No problem. They can also order you and your team just about anything they stock in various sizes, colors, and specifications. Just let them know. That kind of support can make or break a race weekend, and it's why so many drivers trust them when it matters most. On top of that, Mark and Samantha Hamilton of Hamilton Motorsports bring real experience and passion to everything they do. They understand the demands of racing because they live it, and they're always ready with the right recommendations to keep you performing at your best. They race, you race, so let's race together. If you're looking to stay competitive and fully supported on or off the track, check out Hoosier of the Rockies and see why racers across the region rely on them. Call 303-632-6360. Visit them on Facebook, Hamilton Motorsports Racing, or stopping by locally in Arvada, Colorado. Hoosier of the Rockies and Hamilton Motorsports, a proud partner of Scrub and Tires Media and the Throwin podcast. Woohoo! All right. Well, Blair, how are you? I feel like you haven't got 2 words in because my motor mouth over here.
No, you know what's funny? I was watching that commercial, and I was going to put on my Hoosier of the Rockies t-shirt tonight with all their gear because I wore the hoodie all winter, but it's a size large, and the shirt didn't quite fit, so I looked a little bit like Hulk Hogan. I probably could have came in here and ripped that thing clean off.
Hell yeah, brother! We should do that next episode.
It was a little snug on me,
man.
So I might have to exchange that one with them.
That would top my cold intro that we just did. If you come in here ripping off your shirt, that would be great.
Yeah, that'll get it.
See, and then you could time it when we play the Hoosier of the Rockies ad. You can put on a new shirt that you just tore off. See,
I'm turning into full bear. Like I'm from my beard down. My hair's getting thinner, but my beard's getting thicker, and it just goes straight from my neck.
Oh yeah,
my chest and everything. I'm just a freaking bear. I'm getting my back. I was gonna Step Brothers it, but I figured I would the episode.
Yeah. That's exactly where I thought you were going. Oh man, great movie.
But anyway, I'm a gorilla.
Yeah. All right. Well, good to know. That puts a lot of imagery in my head that I rather would not. But
you're welcome.
Yeah, maybe we should reach out to Manscaped. Get one of them. Anyways, enough about body hair and Blair's hairy back and other parts. Let's talk racing. So So yeah, as the cold intro and everything we just alluded to, we have the CMS inaugural weekend, formerly the Rocky Mountain Midget Racing Association, which, wow, I'm proud of myself for getting that the first try. But yeah, Blair, take us through where they at, what they doing, who's going to be there, what's going on.
It looks like car counts are going to be up. That's one thing we've been worried about. Not so much with this series. I think there's a lot of people excited with Mark and Patrick taking over the series. So there's a lot of hype around it. And obviously, it's funny to me because I've never raced Garden, but it's a small little place. I think it's a 5th Mile Airport Speedway in Kansas there in Garden City. Really cool looking little venue. You see a lot of micros, midgets there. I don't think they put full-size cars, but yeah. So
I imagine they do.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever seen it, but I know a lot of guys love to race the midgets there, short, tight, fast. So it looks like it'll be a lot of fun. And we've talked about it, as I alluded to before, a lot of places struggling with car counts, but I think they're going to be okay. And last time when we talked to Mark and Patrick on here, it looks like they're going to average, and this was early in the season for registration, around 15 cars and maybe season series regulars. But I bet you they've picked up some since then. A lot of people are stoked, and if I didn't have something going on, we'd be out there watching, but we're going to be racing ourselves. So
yeah, no,
looking forward to it.
Yeah, very cool. And I'm excited to see, obviously, how car counts are in the midgets. I mean, diesel prices are the same no matter what you race, with everything going on. But yeah, I'm hoping that, Patrick and Hamilton Motorsports and, Samantha and Mark have a good turnout, especially for the first, race inaugural. Sure. I mean, it's not inaugural, but it is inaugural because it's a series change, naming change, ownership change, all the good stuff. So really hope that all the midget drivers that are listening to this, if we can persuade you a little bit to, hopefully you got the car ready. I can't help you there, but if you do, load it up and head to Garden City this weekend to show support. And obviously it's a great club, and midgets are right up there with wing sprint cars as far as, one of the coolest open wheel cars in our opinion. So anyway, yeah. Do you know what time that, I assume normal time, 6, 7 o'clock
Saturday 6 night? O'clock starts. Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. So we can pull up, we'll post it for anybody that's curious. And we're going to have to look too. I don't know if Garden City, I know a lot of people post it from their phones, but actually the TV stuff, and if they're going to have anybody at this one filming. So I know we get to watch a lot of footage just because of the area we're in, but pretty centrally located place. Is a quick drive. If you're a Colorado guy. So I'm sure they'll all be there, and hopefully they pick up some Kansas, Nebraska, some teams like that. So yeah, should be fun.
Yeah. Speaking of posting, we got in the company of Mr. Poster Boy, Mr. Centerfold for the El Paso County race weekend on the 5th and the 6th. Yours truly made the cover. So look at you. Nice. Big timer.
Yeah.
with the new wrap.
Yeah, no, the car does look good if nothing else. I was pretty happy with the way it turned out. So I got some t-shirts coming. They're starting to make those in the process now, so we'll have some of those for sale. I actually I picked up my Adam Trimble t-shirt. He delivered it to the shop for me. So he's got the midget
first
and the
name basis.
there. So yeah. And
I did see those. I did see. I need to get one of those.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for Trimble shirts, he's got them on Instagram there. They said they were doing a limited run, but as many people that were talking about it, I'm sure he's probably about out already. So kind of cool.
Missed it already.
He came and got to pet the pig, and him and his wife, they were over there. And that's not a euphemism. He was actually petting a shop pig.
You have a shop pig?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my parents do. A mini pig, micro mini he's from the Philippines. So he hangs out under the desk and he goes outside.
Why have you never said any of this before?
I would have
podcast
assumed
worthy.
You knew. Yeah, I didn't know you didn't know that.
No, I know you have a fake rhino from the couple times that you've had that in the background, but not a pig. He just walks around.
Yeah, he just hangs out. He goes and then he'll let you know he's got to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. So he's potty trained.
He was potty trained way faster than a dog. Yeah, he's 45 pounds. He's 10 years old. He hangs out. Customers come in just to see him. So it's my mom told my dad forever since I was a kid she was going to have a pig. She's a big animal. She loves all animals, and she said I'm going to have a pig. What? And yeah, so he gets treated better than I do.
Well, I mean, but a potty trained pig.
Oh, wow. It was easy. I think he almost naturally knew to go. That's what I think. Most people assume pigs are kind of dirty, and because you see him rolling around in the muck. But no, he knows exactly where to go. He oinks at you, lets you know he's got to go outside, or he'll just take himself to the door and start honking.
What's his name?
It's Rockingham, because of ham and racetrack. All our animals are named after racetracks. So,
wow.
Yeah, I'll pull some pictures.
Podcast gold, man. Like, I feel like we should just end the episode.
Oh yeah, no, he's a Filipino pig.
We can leave nationality out of it, but can we get him on a podcast episode?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Damn, he gave me a head rush.
I didn't do anything. I don't know why we got to keep saying he's a Filipino pig. He's just a pig.
He's from the Philippines. Porcine Lachon is the technical term.
Oh man, I'm so glad we're not live right now. Anyways,
that's gonna make the episode.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
No, he's even been to the racetrack. I guess you just haven't been around. Like, he hangs out. He's been in the trailer before. If my parents come, which is pretty rare.
Serious with me right now?
I'm not kidding. Yeah, him and my mom has that and the French bulldog, and so the pig. Yeah, he's been in the trailer hanging out. So next time you're there, if my parents come.
Well, your dad came last year, but it didn't bring Rockingham.
No, yeah, if they got to both come. We got the business they're trying to manage. So, but if they do both manage to get away, which is, maybe
does he have like a Blair Cooper shirt like that he wears?
Yeah, oh yeah. No, he hasn't, but that's a good idea. So
you're damn right.
He will.
We could throw a damn Throwin Sliders podcast sticker on him. It won't stick, so it'll rip off easy.
He's got coarse hair. It might.
Jesus. Oh man, I was going to go into a story about my mom having a pig, but I think Rockingham takes the bacon there, no pun intended. So I don't even remember what we were talking about. Oh, we were going to talk about Logan Shuhart. So sorry, Rockingham, you got your 10 seconds of fame there, and I am flabbergasted that Mr. Cooper has a shop pig, but that's cool. Anyway, Logan Shuhart time. Let's talk about Logan Shuhart.
Okay. Well, for those that haven't seen
it. That's your cue
to... Yeah, sorry. You gave me a head rush. Now I'm seeing blinking lights. But yeah, Logan Shuhart, Eldora this weekend. For those that haven't seen it, you can go back and watch the highlights. Highly emotional interview after he finally won. I think it was a 64 race dry spell. They lost Grandpa Scruffy, famous sprint car guy, and has kind of been the backbone of that team. They didn't start out as big budget guys and have really kind of made waves. And then all this going on, Jacob Allen's team and them having to take a hiatus. It just shows kind of how hard it is to run a full-time team. So yeah, in victory lane, very emotional. I think everybody was happy to see him get it done. Great race. Eldora this year I thought was maybe a little bit better as far as, we didn't see the big crashes this race. Hopefully that stands true for the Kings Royal, like, last year's when they really tore stuff up and a lot of guys getting hurt. But yeah, Shuhart put on a good show, and the racing actually seemed to be pretty good all throughout the field. Guys throwing some big ones on each other and able to back it up to the cushion. Pretty dusty, which, honestly there though, sometimes it provided a pretty good race. So no complaints for me. I enjoyed watching them. I just caught all the highlights.
What series was this?
Outlaws.
Was it? Oh, is that the one you texted me about the vintage stuff?
No, that was actually at Fremont. So Fremont was the All-Stars too. Yeah, that was Tuesday night, and I just couldn't believe it was for $20,000 cash.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, when I text you, they had vintage cars out there, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. They had an old Swindell car out there. Bunch of really, stuff that'll be probably on.
He won this weekend. Speaking of that, in a midget somewhere.
Pavement midget.
Oh, was it pavement?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It looked like dirt underneath, but
I could be wrong. but very well could have been.
So either way, that's cool. So he's still getting it done at however old he is. So
for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, going back to the was it the Shark Racing team? So I don't know. Was it Shuhart that was in there? And then what happened to him before Tanner took it over for that season back in 23 or whatever?
That would have been the Jacob Allen ride. You got the 1A and the 1S when Jacob Allen decided to step away for a little bit. And now it's funny, kind of full circle. I heard still that Carly Holmes, Tanner's sister's working on that car now too. So we're gonna have to talk to her one day, because you see girls that try to get in and drive, but a lot less on the pit side now. And obviously
I think I hit Tanner up about that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe we talked about it and I never pulled the trigger, but I'll definitely hit him up and see if Carly would be so inclined to come on and talk with us, because she does do a lot for him everywhere he's went. Like, she's behind, like, even seeing her down in Fort Worth, was that 2 years ago, she's grinding tires, just like the grunt, and it's just like that goes unnoticed. And not to say that it's because she's a girl, but like she busts her ass, like probably harder than some men. And she doesn't, if you watch all of his older YouTube stuff, like she did. And when we had him on, back a couple years ago, he did say that they have an older sister that actually like raced a little bit or whatever. But Carly did the outlaw kart stuff a little bit. And then she did a little sprint car stuff, but then she got pretty banged up. She got like broken arm. I remember seeing her in her cast, and then she was in a crutches for a while. So she went through a spell of,
I think even like vertebrae problems, because she flipped out of maybe it wasn't Evergreen, but somewhere up there in Oregon or somewhere, she got tossed pretty hard and had like a back fracture and stuff like that. But it is just a different perspective because we don't see many girls in that role. And I've even watched her under open reds or closed reds, even telling him, hey, you're going to have to put it up here. They're gaining on you. I'm like, she's pretty knowledgeable. So it's kind of interesting to see that dynamic. But, and then working for definitely Shark Racing.
Yeah. And I don't think she has social media, or she doesn't have a big presence on there. So we'll definitely reach out to Tanner and see if we can get her on there, because that'd be a good one for sure. So and it'd be good. Maybe we get him on here at the same time. He's gone through a lot since we last talked to him a couple years ago. So anyway, so we'll take another ad break here for another one of our partners, Mountain Ops. We do have one more topic and the special guest announcement at the end of this one, so definitely stick around. But did want to shout out Mountain Ops. Obviously, as we've alluded to, I think the big driver for us is hydrate. I know Blair uses that a lot. I use all their products every single day from A to Z, and they're great. And obviously it's coming into outdoor season, kind of switching realms of racing and outdoor, but they are let's be frank, they are an outdoor company. So whether you're hiking, fishing, boating, whatever you're doing outdoors, doing CrossFit, all you crazy people doing that outdoors and stuff like that, definitely want to make sure you're fit and you're ready to go. So definitely hit them up. Obviously, the code, as we've mentioned last week, TS Podcast no longer. It's a referral link. I will get that. I think I have it. Yes, I do have it. I will post that on our page since we're not live. I don't know if comments actually show up. Do you think comments show up? I have no idea.
I would imagine, if not underneath, so it just won't be a live chat.
It says add destination to post comments. Well, we're not live. So anyway, when you see this episode posted in the spiel that we give, it is listed, the referral link. So click on that. That'll give you 20% off your order. As long as there's no crazy better sales going on, that link will give you 20% off. So definitely do that. We thank you to Mountain Ops for their support, and we encourage you to support them who support us. Whether you're chasing checkered flags, chasing elk in the mountains, casting a line, or crushing early morning workouts in the gym, there's one name every high performer should know: Mountain Ops. This team fuels athletes, hunters, racers, and weekend warriors with the cleanest, hardest-hitting supplements on the market. Let's be honest, this sport isn't for the soft. Late nights in the garage, long drives to the track, and hot evenings in the pits and in the car. We are built different. That's why we run on Mountain Ops. Their supplements hit hard, feel clean, and don't have all that junk you can't pronounce. From early mornings to late nights on race day, this is the stuff that keeps the crew moving and ready for the next lap. Want in? Head to mtnops.com, enter code TS Podcast at checkout, and get 20% off your order. That's right, enter code TSPODCAST at checkout for 20% off your order. You don't just want to show up, you want to win. Fuel like you mean it. Winners use Mountain Ops. Proud supporting partner of the Throwin Sliders podcast. Man, seeing them old photos of me back in the day. How's the damn? Good stuff. Speaking of outlaw carts, I was talking with Blair in the pre-show, and I thought this would be a good kind of conversating topic. Actually, so Rico Abreu, as many know, obviously glorified sprint car driver, obviously running with Tony Stewart Racing this year. We alluded to that back last year, I believe, when they made that announcement. It's kind of late, silly season. Anyway, he posted to his Instagram handle of kind of like a Willy Wonka type deal with literally a golden ticket. Like you pay, Blair and I actually looked it up. It's $100 to enter this raffle, if you will. and you get to keep the golden ticket. So I imagine that's kind of a cool keepsake. But $100, it better be for $100, especially if you don't win. But anyways, it's I believe the deadline was May 30th. Did we say when the race was? Was it King's?
It's got to be the King's Royal, because that'll be the next time they're back at Eldora.
Yeah. So King's Royal. If we're wrong, please let us know. But we're assuming King's Royal. It's an all-inclusive trip. Basically, hotel, food, drinks, lodging, rental car, top to bottom. He's going to cover it. Tony Stewart Racing, I assume, is going to cover it. And you get to hang out with the crew in a suite. It actually posts a picture of the suite that you'll be hanging out with. I think you get to bring a friend. But yeah, it's kind of a cool incentive to get some, people to obviously, I'm sure that money goes back to them, or they donate it or something like that for those folks that don't win. Or you can do the buy it now option, which Blair's going to do for $15,000 and just skip the lottery and just go.
Only 3 available.
Go straight into it. But yeah, I just thought it was a cool kind of, I don't even know what you want to call it. It obviously gets interaction for him and his race team, but also for Eldora and sprint cars and stuff like that. Because, I don't know what a ticket there is. I imagine probably less than $100. But if you win that thing, or if you have enough money to just go do that, 15 grand, I think that experience would be something that a lot of people would probably never get to do. And I mean, it comes with all the extras. It has bullet points list of a signed Rico diecast car, a 1-of-1. I can't remember the painter's name, but looked like a pretty cool painting. So a lot of little perks. But I don't know, Blair, your thoughts on that? I rambling on it, but it seems like a pretty
I mean, it's I think anything they can do with fan interaction. And to piggyback off that, we haven't chatted about this, but my wife worked a venue this weekend.
Did you say piggyback to go back to the other comment, or
the rocking him? But no, she worked an event. This, she has her little boutique she does on for the weekends and stuff sometimes. But she worked a rodeo. Excuse me. And sometimes I think dirt track could take a lot away from those shows. Like, even if you're a small local venue, just the way the shows ran and the fan experience, with interactive venues and merchants and stuff like that. And I know we see some of that where we're at, but I think just the scale and every show, even for kind of a localized rodeo, from your grand entry, in between events, you've got the clowns.
That's huge. Like, sorry to interject, but if you go to a rodeo, which I am a big fan of, obviously growing up where I did, but between events, and they're running those horses out with the giant ass flags, like Boot Barn and Wrangler, and like, holy cow, man! Like, everybody in that arena is watching that. But anyway, continue.
No, I mean, that was the thing, because we always want to further dirt track racing. I mean, we have a vested interest, and this goes for asphalt too. And I remember when I was younger, and we've talked about it a lot, is that, like, even at Colorado National Speedway, at intermission, there was something going on with fan engagement, whether it was t-shirt cannons, whether, the music cranked up and them starting a party, basically. You had, drivers' autograph sessions, every single night. It was a special event. And I think that's been lost amongst a lot of these promoters. I don't know if they're worried about cost, but really bang for your buck now. With the way things are, you have to keep people entertained and engaged, and a fast, efficient show the whole time. There should be zero downtime, even if they're re-prepping the track or something. You can have.
That's exactly when you need it, because who wants to watch the tractor go around and around and around?
Yes. Yeah. And so for that 15 to 20 minutes, you need filler. You've got to have something to entertain them. And even like at rodeos, at some of these big ones, there would be like a tough track. And now, granted, this is going to be a little different at a dirt track, but there's got to be something filler. Some guy jumping through a ring of fire. I don't know, whatever it takes, because we still see, like at monster truck shows, they know that is going to be full on, even the shows that aren't good. Like, they're bringing it out. You got to have something for the next generation. And make it worth the price of admission. I think people would pay another $5-10 a ticket if they knew that this was going to be a one-off event that was a total show. And I think some of that's been lost at a lot of these places I go. It's like at intermission, it's quiet. There's nothing going on. And even somebody to MC the thing. And I really do think that would help, because I sit in the stands, and obviously I'm about as diehard as a race fan as you can get. So that doesn't really pertain to me, but you can't forget that not everybody's like us.
Right. And there's a younger generation sitting next to you probably that's like not as diehard yet as we are, but we want to get them coming back, right? So
no, and they might not be.
Yeah.
If you don't entertain them, because as a kid you lose interest, then it's like I'm done. Especially if you get that 5 to 11 range. It's like once they're out, they're out.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting topic. I wonder. Well, we can talk after the show. I don't want to give away any ideas that could potentially be some good ones
on our end.
yeah.
So I can't do a live podcast from the infield. I got to set up the car.
No.
Just
Nothing of the sort. Nothing of the sort. Well, but yes, we'll talk about that. You might see one of us dressed in a clown costume at your next race. So that's where this stemmed from. You heard it here first. But yeah, good on Rico he's like a Tanner Holmes, always good with the social content and just pumping it out and everything. But I thought it was kind of a good way to, interact. Obviously, it's like you said, lucrative for them. Obviously, they're not doing it for free. There's expenses there, albeit write-offs for them, but nevertheless, I think it's a cool way to engage people and get asses in the seats, right? That's what we always try to promote. It's an expensive ass in the seat ticket, but I guess if you win that $100, I mean, geez.
Oh yeah. Well, and you think about, it is so funny. Like, I think perspective of that is lost sometimes. That 15 grand is one night of funding for their race team minus cost. So if they come out 10 grand ahead, because obviously Tony Stewart owns Eldora, and we don't know how that's structured or anything, but obviously that benefits the race team. But I mean, when you're spending $10,000 a night or more to go racing, they got to do something because these teams are struggling. I mean, and you don't know how high that goes. There may be 5 or 6 teams that are just immune to it. It's like, this is what we do. Doesn't matter. Backing's there. We've either got our own funding or a corporate sponsor that's, really in. It's cheaper. It's not NASCAR, right? But still $4 or $5 million a year. Yikes.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering too, maybe, we're sitting here talking about how, cool it is for Rico and TSR to do something like that, but maybe we could even, get involved in that regard and work something out with the promoters and stuff like that. And, do some giveaways to certain events and stuff like that. And, we did it back when it was just the Scrubbing Tires podcast, with CNS and stuff like that. There's different ways of doing that. So maybe that's a re-spark for us to kind of get engaged there and not just talk about it, but be about it and help drive some, getting some asses in some seats. And, we'll make you work for it a little bit, trivia or something like that. But maybe good question off the cuff is,
who's your favorite driver? And you better know how to answer.
Who's your favorite driver? No, I was going to say, I was going to go way granular. What size of racing shoes does Blair wear on a Saturday night?
Yeah,
that's a good one. I mean, there's probably like 5 options you can choose from, but anyways, yeah, we'll definitely circle up on that. But anyway, good for Rico, TSR, and maybe we can share this and, obviously not to that level, but get something circulated to drive, getting people out there and getting it, back. And it's, I guess the one thing, Blair, that we don't talk about a lot is we always say, oh, well, the diesel is $5.50 a gallon or whatever it is for the race teams to get there. But also, like, the demographics, let's be real, of like race fans and stuff, like it could go from, mega millionaire sitting in the stands all the way to middle class or lower middle class. But like, also these dirt tracks aren't like, just in a town, like they got to drive too. And that, unleaded fuel is still $3.50, $4 a gallon. So it does matter to the fans too. So, throwing in a free ticket here and there, or throwing in a free beer and a hot dog while they're there would probably go a long way. But anyway, I'll take my promoter hat off for the rest of the show. I promise.
No, we're always trying to figure out. And you know what else we kind of got sidetracked on while we're here is we're still looking for guys to donate old race suits for track officials and stuff. So we still want to bring that up. We'll be posting about it again. We kind of let it go, but we did make that a goal of ours last year. And I do want to follow through because even like we saw at El Paso, it happens, there's fire, and it'd be good to get these guys some protection when tracks don't offer it, or if they're just even, not there every week, but put the guys in charge of fire and, first responders to the scene. So we'll get back on that too. So if you have an old race suit, doesn't matter. If it's even tattered or kind of rough, it's better than what they're wearing. It's jeans and a t-shirt or
fluorescent t-shirt.
Yeah.
I have to see. I think I could be the first to donate. I have, I think my karting one from 2019 is SFI rated. It's not as great as whatever, because you don't need it. It's more abrasion, but I'll look at that and definitely, maybe we'll reach out and see who, kind of wants one, and obviously no price tag on it, but maybe make it a a big deal, because it is a big deal, and maybe we could spark people to donate their old ones as well. So let me look into that. But yeah, good call, Blair. I do remember that. So yeah. Next topic. Blair and I were actually talking about this in the pre-show, talking about our boy, or my boy, Corey Day. I don't know, Blair, do you like him, or do you have no preference?
Yeah, no, I like him. He's not. I like Reitzel better, but
yeah, well,
he's cool. They're both like the same style.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Corey Day's way better, obviously, but anyways, so obviously he's racing in the O'Reilly series, still coming back to the high limit, which we appreciate, and he'll never see this or hear this or watch this, but please keep doing that, just like Kyle Larson does, because that's great for both avenues, as we've beat to death on this show many a times. But hell of a finish to the O'Reilly series race on Saturday at Dover. Not to go into the weeds there, but he was, found something up top, obviously from his dirt background, searching. I think he was probably in around 6th place when he started doing this, and then just kept picking them off. Even the spotters for the other guys that he was hunting down was like, hey, move up. That's where he's finding speed, or go block his air, go block his run. And they tried. I think he got to 2nd with Sam Mayer, and Sam Mayer tried, but he just, Corey Day, Kyle Larson, all those guys, just, there's race car drivers that can run up high and be on the cushion or against the boards. And then there's Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Corey Day, all those kind of guys, Christopher Bell. And so he finally was tracking down his teammate by way of, Junior Motorsports, Hendrick Motorsports. And Justin, obviously being a champion of the sport and having been raced in O'Reilly and Cup for 20 years, he starts moving up, and he made it hard on Corey, as he, has every right to do. And then where I'm getting with this topic, a lap car, I can't remember the guy's name. From what I understand, he's been around a while, so he's not like a Natalie Decker, which we can talk about if we'd like. Well, I think we should, actually. But so anyways, they're going down in the corner. Justin's probably a car length ahead, or car length and a half ahead of Corey Day. This lap car starts on the inside, shades up to go to the high side. So Justin cuts back down low, and then this car goes back down low. Justin then has to make a quick decision. This is all on corner entry when you're trying to let off and get your braking point and everything. He shades up high, and Corey goes way, way high like he was doing. And, they both get loose on the straightaway, but he ends up clearing him and wins the race. So my comment to Blair was, because Justin Allgaier had a conversation that was televised with this lap driver, through the window net when they got on pit road, and basically told the pit reporter from the CW broadcast, like, yeah, I'm pissed off, and it was a learning opportunity for him. If you're going to pick a line and stay in it. You can't be zigzagging down the straightaway, because I don't know where you're going. But I passed the question to Blair, and I'll do it again. How does that feel? What do the optics look like when you're the leader? Let's play two parts. When you're the leader, what's going through your head as far as trust, where that lap car is going to be or go? And then the opposite spectrum, devil's advocado, as you like to say, if you're that lap car, you have no idea. You don't have mirrors, you don't have spotter, you don't have nothing. So what say you?
Yeah, well, when you're leading there, I think the biggest thing, and I've never been on, what track was that?
Dover, concrete.
So, yeah. Oh, okay. I've been on a track that big, because it's a mile, right?
Yeah, but it's even the straightaways are bank. They're like hauling ass. But
yeah. No,
so closing rate is fast.
Yeah, it's really high. So I think the biggest thing when you're leading is just trying to pick guys up way down the line. Now on asphalt, they still like that spotter. Once he even gets within distance, say he's 10 car lengths back, you got to be communicating. And I'm sure he was hey, pick a line and hold it. So there's really no excuse for that kind of distance between them, and that probably the time it took to close in on him for him to be moving around. And maybe he was fighting a Neil handling race car too. We didn't get to hear his side of it, but get down, get out of the way. When you have spotters, that's one thing. Leading, if you're in Allgaier's position, you're really just trying to pick him up and see where he's running as soon as you can. So if he's even halfway down the straightaway, you're trying to pick up the guys in the corner. I mean, you look as far ahead as you can, and then you work backwards. That's what we always try to do, is I'll pick up distance, as far as I can see down the horizon. And then I work backwards to where I'm closing rate, getting up to the fence or wherever, whether it's a cushion. And then you start scanning again. Now, as far as a lap guy, like without radios, mirrors, the sprint car, you can't see out of it very well. So that becomes, you have to know how fast you are that night. That's the first thing. And then you can kind of click off laps in your head. Like if you say they're a half a straightaway, or you're going into one and they're out of two already,
You know,
you can kind of do the math that if, say that was 5 laps in, if we run 5 more laps and I'm not picking up speed or didn't find something, you might, and that's not something I really worry about, because when they get to you, if you can hear them, some tracks, we talked about that, is like Black Hills Speedway, the closing rate for you and some guys that are going a lap down may be so high that they're not going to know. So you really just, for one, you absolutely better not dart in an open wheel car. The wingless guys fight about that all the time. In like USAC cars, is like a guy will make himself really wide so you don't know. Probably the same with midgets. But if you're like that, when you say I'm coming up off the bottom and I'm not running really well, I'm going to make sure that I don't just drive it straight to the wall in the diamond, or make the car push to the fence when I think there's a possibility there's going to be a guy there, if I have heard him at all, because he's,
So how far back can you hear? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be the leader, but like someone that's catching you, how far back? Like, is it like they got to be on your ass, or
usually the
headers are the sound's still going,
and it depends. Like there's times I've literally not, I think like in Lincoln County, my first time, that was like my second national tour race, and we were actually running pretty good. There was 24 cars and we were running right in the middle. I had a shock that was bad. It went bad on me, so we started losing some spots, but we went green for a long time, and Hafferteep caught me, and he caught me so fast that he had done it. He had picked, he'd seen where I was running. I kind of just was like, I got a line, I'm going to stick there. He shoved it in there so hard that it even made me like, oh shit, there's a car. Like it, it's like, it's almost like a camera flash sometimes with the closing rates in those cars. And so I pucker up, and then I'm like, okay, just hold the wheel. Cause I'm like, if he's there, I know there's going to be 2 or 3 more probably, or a whole stream, you don't know. So you come up off the corner and just try to hold it right in line without really, like I said, you just don't want to dart around. And then by then, if 2 or 3, I think there was 2 more behind him that got to me, and I could hear them because they had to stay there for a minute because they had to wait till we got up off the exit to clear me. So now I can hear them, and I already have a feeling they're there. So once they clear, then I'm like, I don't hear anybody else. On corner entry, I get back in line and then start following them and try to tag on. And then nobody else caught us. Those guys were just lights out. But especially with the bad shock, it was like the thing was on the right rear, and I really didn't want to make it run up the hill, get tight, and then them split me. That's the worst thing that can happen usually.
Well, that's basically what happened. Yeah. Well, kind of. They in that Dover example, but it's an interesting dynamic, because they can, we can sit here and talk about Justin Allgaier and talking to that lap car and all that, but like, you dirt drivers, there's no, like, you don't know. Like I assume if that happened in a, it could be a local race or a national race, I don't even think you would have that conversation with that lap driver, because he would be like, dude, I didn't know. Like, but I mean, there is a little bit of etiquette there, and that brings up another
like this, like also know what you got that night,
right? Yeah, and I mean that lap guy wasn't like that, but he did. You can watch the replay, and he's up high, then he's low, and then it's like whoa, and they were there. Like Justin Allgaier couldn't. Anyways, but I think it's I think it is also like track dependent at some point too, because I remember when I ran the Legend car, as you can attest to, that was always in the pit meeting. Like, if you're slow, hug the bottom, hug the white line. Those guys will move around you, and that's I'll use a name drop here, like Chris Eggleston. When you go to his, I don't even know if he still does it, but the class, the technical class that I went to, he'll tell you the same thing. Like, we want to be able to trust you guys. Like, we want to help you set the car up so you're safe, number one, and then number two, that we can feel comfortable racing around you, because you kind of know what you're doing with the car. So that was like a light bulb in my head, and so I say all that to say it's like sometimes track dependent. I don't see an instance where the track would tell lap traffic to move up to the wall, because I feel like that would create a lot more hell. But
right, and usually, like, the rule of thumb is, like, if you are new, is if say you get caught and they get under you, now don't try to move to the bottom. Just stay where you're at. They'll clear you. Because that's a thing, especially when you get into rookies and stuff. And I have a video, actually, we'll try to post it too, where we're racing 3 wide, I think, for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And I mean, we're under a blanket. and a car just jumps. You can see from my GoPro, like there's nothing in front of me, and there was a car that was on the top that just came down over the top, and I mean, I cleared it by, I don't know, a quarter inch. I mean, it had to be so close at the very top end, getting down into 3. So, you know, you're wide open for a long way down into the hole. And I mean, you can see, I'll show the video where, I mean, I almost just got tossed, and I would have flipped that car. I mean, it would have been ugly. So, and then we go right back to racing. But yeah, it happens. You know, I think, especially when you got guys 3 way. That's the only bad thing about mirrors too, is that it's like, oh, I'm going to try to take the runaway, and maybe that guy, I don't want to go a lap down. You know, who knows what was going through his head? Because I've seen guys do that. You know, if you're coming up on a lap car, I've seen them peak, and then they start racing you really hard. And it's okay,
I mean,
now you're gonna get moved.
Well, I mean, with I don't even know. I assume this guy was multiple laps down, so didn't really have an effect on his purse money or standings or anything. He's not running for points. Like he's not relevant. Let's say in the point standings, he's definitely doing better than me. Before I take heat for saying that, but it does make a difference, like during the actual race, because obviously they're a lap back in the Cup Series and, you know, the National Series on asphalt. But yeah, it's just like at that point, I mean, your spotter as the lapper should be like, hey man, leaders are coming, half straight back, all right, quarter of a straight, just freaking go to the apron or something, especially with 2 to go. Like if you know, what's the word I'm looking for? If you manufacture or mess up or have an influence on the end race or the end result of that race, kind of doesn't make you look good. So, I mean, he got his sponsors got recognition when they panned the camera when Justin Allgaier was yelling at him through the window net, but that's not the recognition you want.
You know, and what else is hard about that too, and on a longer track, even if you get onto some of these, you know, like a half mile or bigger asphalt, is not only closing rate and looking at where the guy is at, but you also have to try to pick, like, sometimes it takes you just, you know, he may have looked in the mirror and saw day coming, but if he knows that he can't get around, like get all the way to the wall and back out so that you catch that guy in a different spot. Like then you catch him at the top on the apex, like
absolute worst place to catch a lap car at the very entry of a corner.
Yeah. So maybe if you, to avoid that, and he was all over, that's hard to say though, without being in that seat. And if he could have it back, he might have done that. But sometimes, you know, that half a second may have put Day within 0.3, but he would have cleared him. And sometimes you just don't get those back. I actually had one instance where in the sprint car and even in the lightning sprint especially, I caught a guy so fast one, and I'm looking, I see him, I'm coming out of 4 to the white flag, and I'm leading, and I see him already at the flag stand. And he was a rookie. I caught him so fast, I still almost ramped over the back of him. And it was like, oh man. I mean, I literally, in my head, I'm looking at it going, okay, I'm going to have to clear him. He should be dart and he should move down the racetrack at this point. Well, the closing rate was like, you know, I was flat footed. It was pretty juiced up. And it was like, oh no, when I got there, I had to actually park the car. I couldn't believe I caught him that fast. So sometimes it'll even surprise the driver. It shouldn't. Right. But it's happened to me that once. And then once in the sprint car too. I wasn't leading, but we had a group there. And when you have to split lappers or something, that's when it gets to be like the decision is, especially on short tracks. That's why I asked the length. Like Daytona is going to be different than quarter mile. Or
when I think like national tour sprint car racing, you know, typically you'll see the guy in the crew that has it dialed in for the A main, and they're, you know, they gap the field by a quarter straight or half straight, and they're walking the dog. Then they get into lap traffic, and that's when the racing starts. So I'm not saying lap traffic is bad, because it makes or breaks a lot of the entertainment in the show, like you say. But yeah, it was just interesting. But, you know, all that to say, hats off to Corey Day, because he obviously didn't know what was going to happen, but he just picked a lane and put his foot in it and came out good on the other side, and, you know, won his second race of the year. So pretty cool. So I just wanted to kind of get your perspective on that. Obviously I raced a little dirt, but not enough to, you know. Yeah.
And there's something to say too, again, I'm not, because I really didn't see the footage that well. I saw the clip you posted, but there's something to be said too, is like, depending on how wide the track is too, like you'll see guys do wild things to clear lappers, because if you clear them, that can win the race too.
But Dover, you're not going to do that.
Right.
Because there's not enough room.
So if that's the case too, you know, I've noticed or have done is if you know that there's really only one line and that guy's following you or he's coming, say like Corey's hot on the high side and that guy squeezes me, you can actually, like, he can't go anywhere. You can kill his run right there, almost setting a pick to where he's going to have to either do something stupid or he's going to have to follow you. And you know, if you get to their door and he's moving all over, you're going to catch a door, you slow down, get up to their door, then you hold them down and you just better make sure you park the car hard enough. You killed his run. Cause if you come off him, he's going to light you up. He's going to suck the stickers off.
Right.
But,
there's
a lot of strategy that goes into that.
Yeah. I'm sure if Justin had to do it over again, he probably would have pinned whatever his name down and tried to just roadblock, make 2 cars wider than Days, obviously, and block his momentum and hang on for another corner. But I mean, it was exciting, right? I mean, it was a hell of a finish, and that's the kind of stuff as race fans you look for, not just someone out there walking the dog and leading all the laps and whatever. So it was pretty dramatic. So it was cool. Did you want to talk about Natalie Decker? I mean, that was technically our
we had a good conversation about that. I wish we could play the audio, but
I don't want to get in trouble.
It reminded me of that. Go ahead.
You got it.
I was just going to say, there's no crying in baseball. You know that old Tom Hanks movie,
The
League of Their Own.
So I didn't watch the race. I did see grumblings about it before, and obviously you guys are entitled to go search for is the correct term I'm looking for. Search for this audio that Blair mentioned. But it's in-car audio from Natalie Decker from the truck race on Friday afternoon, evening at Dover, same place. And I saw it on, I want to say it was late Friday night or early Saturday morning, like, oh, NASCAR female like quits mid-race. And I thought it was fake. And I was like, whatever. Like, obviously with Natalie Decker, you know, everything that happened back in Daytona in February with her, you know, showing her bolt-ons, you know, with the picture with that guy and all the stuff. Like, she's just been in the media for all the wrong reasons, right? All the, you know, NASCAR women and women in the industry have really cracked down on her, like, you know, image-wise and whatnot. But so anyway, I didn't watch the race, so I didn't see what happened. I heard allegedly that there were electrical issues with the truck. That was why the performance was, you know, poor. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but what we do know is that I want to say it was like I don't know how close to the end of the race it was, but she cues up the mic and she basically says like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. The truck sucks. The truck series sucks. The director sucks. And I was like, geez, like, you're asking for like, and then she goes out, like, the spotter and the crew chief are like, hey, like, if you don't want to do this, like, go ahead and park it, like, pull it to the garage. We'll guide you to the garage. But like, you know, and I do think it's ironic because, you know, you hear in that audio clip, he's like, hey, don't forget who's on the car. And it's like this mental awareness, like suicide sponsor. And I'm like, yeah, almighty. And like, not, you know, she's obviously like frustrated and had enough, but, and then she goes on to say, like, I could say a lot more bad things, which is also not the correct thing to say about the series, the director, all this stuff. And then she finally is like, yeah, I know I'm going to get grilled on social media and the internet for this. And then I do believe she did park it and she didn't finish the race. And then she basically said, hey, I don't know what kind of contract or schedule she has with that specific race team, but she said, tell what's his name to get in the truck for Nashville. I can't remember his name. But so she's basically like quitting the team, quitting, you know, the owner, quitting the series, all that stuff, all wrapped up in a bow, and basically saying, yeah, I'm just going to run O'Reilly series. So that in a nutshell is what happened. Blair, since I just gave the synopsis, I'll let you give your thoughts and opinions on that.
Should probably use their sponsor a little bit. You know, I think that obviously shows, you know, if you are in an unhealthy place like that and it's not going well, you probably should park the vehicles because it is dangerous still.
And I think that's where her crew was coming from. Like, hey, whoa, like, you should park it if you're like talking like this, like chill out. Yeah,
you can't be crying and driving at the same time in NASCAR. Like, and not because she's a girl. Like, if it was a guy, you know, even worse though.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous to her. Yeah. It's dangerous to everybody around her. Like, what is she thinking? What is she going to do? What is she not going to do? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I can have, I don't know the pressure at that level and stuff like that, and with the social media scrutiny and all that. I mean, we get backlash from the podcast and a lot of stuff. You know, not a lot, but we've had it. Yeah, of course. But also you got to know, like, man, and I don't know how old what is she, like 26 or something? She's still
Maybe.
like, yeah, I mean, it sucks. It's bad for the sport. I have pretty, like, for me, I'd be like, you're not getting in my O'Reilly car either, though. If you
That's exactly what I was about
yeah,
to say.
like, you need to take a break.
You claim,
Mhm.
I'm done with this series. I'm going to go. Well, you think the O'Reillys, any series owner or any person that has a car available for you to drive is going to want you to do that after you say that? Like,
Yeah, for me, that would be like, you need to, not that she should be, it all taken away, but I think that, for anybody,
she didn't do anything illegal or wrong per
sure.
se. It's just,
Yeah, nothing bad. It's just it's poor optics for her. I mean, like I said,
exactly.
if it was my daughter, I'd feel bad and be like, hey, we need to get you either mentally straightened out to where if you really want to do this. But with race cars, I've had a lot of conversations with high-end guys that will tell their drivers even like, hey, if your head's not in this, I don't want to be responsible for you dying or killing somebody else. Or something bad happened to you when I don't think you're mentally right, because it is a team sport and you do have to look out for each other. So that probably was, when I heard them on the radio, I'm like, these guys are,
these guys, you could literally, I don't know these guys from Adam. I don't know Natalie from Adam, but the spotter and the crew chief were genuinely worried. You could tell it in their voice. They're like, all right, yeah, we'll park it. Like, we're done. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then she just, I don't know. She kept like, and obviously I don't know if that audio clip was fragmented and how long this conversation was, but I think it was about a minute or two of audio that we listened to. But they were genuinely worried and concerned for her first and foremost, not shit, we're about to lose all this money and all this. No, they were genuinely worried about her. But then it was almost like she was pissed. Like, there was a lot of emotions that picking up from her emotion, like her tone. Like, she was pissed, obviously, at the truck series, the director, whatever he or she did or didn't do. And then I'm sure if there were electrical problems in the truck, gremlins, that didn't help matters, right? Because she's underperforming. But it's almost like she's going from like, I'm pissed at the series to, oh, poor pitiful me, and the sob story. And then like you get a little mix of this. She's mentally not okay. And then it's just like this roller coaster. But yeah, kind of the more we talk about it, it's kind of scary. And I guess maybe it, I don't know how often that's ever happened at the national tour where guys and gals are coming on the radio. They might under their helmet be like, fuck this, I'm done, whatever, but they're not going to queue up and say what she did. So we'll see what comes of it. Obviously I don't think there's any suspensions or anything like that, just based on verbals. I mean, NASCAR has to, they get grief all the time, every single day, every single week. But I think there's going to be I'm sure you're going to hear about it on other podcasts and stuff on social throughout the week. But there's going to be a lot of haters, right? I mean, just because the reputation that she's built before this. But, at the end of the day, I think put all that aside and actually worry about her mental well-being and maybe remove her from any type of racing until she gets things figured out.
Yeah, you need to be clear head. I mean, it is kind of funny though. We have to also be real that there is a difference between men and women. So I don't know what that's like to go through in the car, different range of emotions, stressors,
Well, yeah. I mean, she's a mom. There's a lot of emotions going on.
Exactly. Yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, it does change. I've even talked about that. I think one of our earlier episodes where we've had her on the show, but Jen Woods was in front of me. We were staging. We were just sitting there.
Congratulations, Jen, on another victory.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I've talked about it, I think, one other time. She was sitting in front of me. And like, when it's me and my buddies and all that, I'm like, this is war to me. Like, I treat racing like it's, competition I love. So it is war to me. Like, I don't ever want to hurt anybody. I don't ever intentionally rip, but like, we're going to go for it. But her little girls are hugging her, and it actually made me feel heavy. It's
I remember that.
Yeah. And I still think, every once in a while I think about stuff like that. And when you
my hug to you doesn't give you any meaning?
Not really. No, I mean, I do get, a little bit excited, but that's like Brett gives me that when Tara was gone, he put a kiss on my forehead. Yeah. So when Tara couldn't be there. So now when Brett's there, he's got to kiss me on the forehead. So right. Everybody's just like, what a clown show. But no, he just kisses
Blair's got to get his kisses, man. I mean,
Tara's got to do it in threes, but no, he kissed his hand, and he's like, oh, Tara's not here. You got to get your good luck. And he kissed his hand and put it on my forehead. So it wasn't super gay, but it was it was enough that I was like, I hope nobody else saw that. But I also was like, that's pretty good luck, I hope. But it's just different. So hopefully she gets it. That kind of stuff, being mentally tough. We had the conversation. I kind of even I felt like I had been pouting a little bit, and I feel like you talked about it. I kind of keep even keel. I do feel like I'm mentally tough and can take on a lot of things, but it even just the grind of what we're doing and doing stuff by myself. Like I started to get like kind of pouty and kind of like a little bitch. So, I talked to Rick and he's like, you got to stop that. And then I was like, yeah, you're right. But I can't ever imagine coming on the radio and being like, I quit. There's been times I thought I was literally going to like die. I was so sick in the race car, and I'm like, well, that physically can hang on, and or mentally, you got a lot of shit going on, but I'm like, I'll do this until I physically can't. Like I can't imagine. I don't like giving up, I think is the thing. Like finish it and then say, hey, I'm done. But
I think illness is a different,
but I'm always mentally ill. So
well, yeah, but I mean, like you hear it all the time, like, maybe not every week, but these national tour guys that have radio that they play back on air on the broadcast, like, hey man, I'm puking in the car. Hey, I'm pooping my pants. Hey, I'm got, my foot's cramped and I can't. Then, okay, like come down pit road, figure it out. But like, just to be like, I'm done. Screw all of this. Screw everybody. That's a different type of quitting.
No, I agree. So,
like,
I don't like that.
Yeah. It's the optics are bad. It's bad for her. I mean, like I said, she already had, and I don't follow her, but I see all the social posts and stuff about everybody in the industry, and she kind of like lended into all the hate from the Daytona picture and all this stuff, and her, let's call it a spade. She's not, performing well either on the track. It's not like she's Ricky Bobby out here being stupid with his ads and stuff like that and winning and everything. So she kind of like was like, okay, like I'm taking a lot of heat. I'm going to, screw you haters. I'm going to keep, lean in. I'm going to, and then all of a sudden I think she might've reached her breaking point. I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of, speculation, whatever, but yeah, hopefully she's okay mentally and they can, remove her from that situation till she gets her head right and figure that out.
Yeah, that could be a quick turnaround. You never know what's going on with people. So that's why I try to give grace where a lot of these people that just get on the internet and comment all day, bad shit. We talk about that a lot too, is like, if you've never been in the race car, like, especially I've never been in a race that long, like it's a long, but also you should be mentally fit as well as physically.
Oh, you have to be.
That's the hard one to tell. I mean, that's why they drug test guys too,
Yeah.
So
yeah, no doubt. So we'll see what comes of that. But I just thought that was an interesting topic to talk about. Quitting mid-race. You don't see that too often. So
no, it's kind of funny. I'm not a fan, so I don't like all the antics, and I think it does hurt girls. Like you would never see an Abadizian or somebody like that.
Oh hell no!
Do anything, even like the Burt Kreischer stuff at Daytona and all that. I get that social media is probably where a lot of the money comes from and all that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old, dude.
Yeah,
I'm getting old.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, no one's gonna. They'll be hesitant to reach out to her to fill a seat.
If I was a car owner, I don't.
That's the nicest way to say that. Yeah,
I could do without it.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that actually is the last segment, even though we added that one in at the end. But so we finally, as we alluded to last week, live with you guys, we have a special guest coming. It's been a while in the works, and we want to say thank you to Mr. Tony Laporta of the High Limit Series. We had him on last season, so he helped with this guest. It's just taken a little bit. He was actually under the weather this last week, so responses were limited and whatnot, but we got him locked in for next Monday, Memorial Day, 7:30. We'll be back live, obviously. Apologies for not being live this episode, but Blair, tell us who's coming on the show next Monday.
The Florida man, Danny Sams III, he'll join us live on Memorial Day, so that's going to be a fun one. I really enjoyed watching him come up through the ranks and from regional to full-time high limit sprint car racing, and he got a feature win last year even, so he's making some noise and he seems to be right in the mix. So really excited to talk to him. Family team. I'm going to have to learn a little bit more about their whole operation, but they're not a big funded team. It sounds like they're still on the hunt for sponsors, so maybe we can help him out a little bit. He's a good race car driver and still young, so get a little bit different perspective and see how it's going for him, and excited to talk to him.
Yeah, and he, in the text that we've been exchanging, seems to be excited to do this. And obviously, like I said, I don't know the exchange between Tony Laporta and himself, being Danny, to do this, but he does seem juiced and amped up to do this. So, yeah, make sure. Obviously, we'll promote it, all week long. Tell your friends, tell everybody. Obviously, full-time driver in the High Limit Sprint Car Series. So, yeah, it's going to be hopefully another good episode for you guys. Again, apologies for the wait there, but we wanted to make sure we had an actual date nailed down before we announce something and then have to, go back on our word, so to speak. So with that, yeah, apologies again on my behalf. This is not Blair's behalf, but with work this week, wasn't able to give you guys a live episode Monday. Tomorrow, actually pre-recorded, but when you're watching this at 7:30 Mountain on Monday the 18th, we're able to go live, but we'll be, like I said, back again for Danny the Same's the 3rd on the 25th, Memorial Day. So after you guys are done eating your burgers and hot dogs and drinking beer with friends, fire up your phone or your computer and turn on the Throwin Sliders podcast and catch them live. So with that, hope everybody has a great week. Blair, I know you're running this weekend at Holyoke. So
yep, Phillips County Raceway. For anybody on, I know we get quite a few Nebraska fans from there. So sprint cars, they've got IMCA classes. Looks like car counts are going to be decent. We're going to pick up some full-time national tour guys since they're off. That's a really fun track. If you've never been there, it's a little bit of a drive if you're Denver or in that area. But if you're coming from east, it's a little bit shorter. And it's probably my favorite racetrack in Colorado there. And honor as far as the racing goes. I historically have done pretty decent there. So looking forward to that. And hopefully we have a good weekend. I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're in that neck of the woods, definitely go check that out. If you're not, and you can go to the Airport Raceway and check out the CMS. Yeah. If you're in Kansas, definitely options is what we're saying. You got options this weekend. Certainly go watch some dirt racing. So, well, with that, if you are participating this weekend, as we always say, good luck out there and keep it rubber side down. And we'll talk to you guys on the 25th of Memorial Day. Keep throwing those sliders. This was another production of Scrubbin' Tires Media. The Throwin Sliders podcast is hosted by Blair Cooper and Brandon Hall. Video and audio was created by Bryce Holcomb. Please like, share, and leave a 5-star review. And as always, keep throwing those sliders.